You want me to scoot over a little bit?
You're good. You're good.
Just kind of, get nice and close.
Okay. Hello, guys. Dan LaFisco here with my good friend Jonathan Sire. He is a third-degree black belt, a Batman enthusiast, and he's a pretty kick-ass guy. And not a better way to start this entire new series, Passion Speaks Loud, than one of my very good friends. So I'm glad we could do this.
So am I, man. I've been looking forward to this. This is something that you've been talking about for a little while, so I'm excited to do it.
Yeah, man.
This will be fun.
Definitely. All right, guys, you ready? Let's do it.
Wait. Okay, I know I'm ready.
You ready? Okay. Just to talk to everyone, let everyone know, what are your passions? What drives you throughout the day?
I mean, my car drives me sometimes, places from like my house to school. No, some of the things that I'm super passionate about in life, probably the biggest thing is martial arts. I've been doing martial arts since I was 3.5 years old. Like you said, I'm a third-degree black belt. My lifelong dream since I've been a little kid is to have my own martial arts school. Mm-hmm. And I would say like majority of my life is in function of that. Like I'm going to college, I'm majoring in health exercise science with a concentration in health promotion, specifically to learn how to operate my own health-oriented business, in this case a martial arts school, And just a lot of like the big role models in my life, and just like a lot of the experiences that I've had in my life have been because of that and through that. And I think that that's a huge part of making me who I am as a person.
With that, what kind of ignited it? Like, what kind of made it a habit? Was it just because your parents put you into it, and then once you got into that, you started to figure out, hey, this is what I want, or were you actually interested in it?
Mm-hmm. Believe it or not, you've known this about me and my brother because you've known us for so many years. Believe it or not, me and Patrick, our entire lives have been extremely, extremely competitive with one another.
Mm-hmm.
There's always been that 19-month age difference, but I always like to kind of pretend that I'm the same age as him, like I'm just as fast and just as strong and stuff like that, which obviously wasn't the case for a good majority of my life. But when we were younger, my mom actually put Patrick into martial arts. Patrick being my brother. My mom actually put Patrick into martial arts because, she wanted him to know bully prevention and how to take care of himself and how to defend himself if the need ever arose or anything like that. Mm-hmm. He came back from his first lesson. He was telling me about, how much fun it was and how cool it was and how he got to break boards and all this stuff. Me being as competitive as I was with my brother, even at 3.5 years old, he was, I think, 5 at the time. Even like being as young as I was like, oh, hell no, you're not going to have that kind of advantage over me. That's just not happening. So I begged my mom to sign me up also. And she, originally she had total intention to sign me up as well, but she wanted to do Patrick first because he was a little bit older. So finally she let me get into it as well. And from there, it's something that I stuck with, in part because Patrick stuck with it. And then even after, he kind of dropped out and fell out of practice, I was just so into it. I loved the people that were involved with it. I loved just the experiences that I had. And I firmly knew that it was what I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
Like being at that young age, I mean, when you look back at it, it must be like total life-changing.
Oh yeah.
Like that was a pivotal moment of like, okay, I'm into this right now.
Oh yeah, it's actually kind of cool. My mom had a videotape of me when I was coming back. I'm not sure if she still has it now, but she had a videotape when I came back from like my first martial arts lesson ever. And she has the camera. She's like, oh, how was it? And I look at her, I was like, Mom, I'm gonna have my own school one day. And just like at the time, she was like, okay, And then she has another video of me at my senior graduation, talking to people at the martial arts school, kind of giving like a little speech as I was getting ready to leave for college. And I was like, yeah, here I am, leaving for college to go learn how to have my own school. And you just kind of hear my mom in the background like no one took it seriously until it was time to take it seriously.
Yeah.
And so that was just a cool little experience.
I'm sure when that eventually does happen, you actually get to own your own studio. You'll probably make a presentation of you saying that as a kid, and then boom, you saying it.
I'm just gonna be saying this like, I fucking called it. Like,
I knew it.
I hope someone picks up that phone, because I called it.
Okay, so we got across that you're dedicated to it.
Mm.
You learned it from an early age. What mentors or teachers got you through the hard times with it? Because I know that your brother, he didn't continue with it, and that's quite all right.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No, just kidding.
Not
Yeah.
at all. By the way, Patrick Sire is D-Trace. I will put a link on the video for his SoundCloud if you guys want to go check him out.
He makes the dubsteps.
He does make the
It's
dubsteps.
pretty dope.
It is dope.
Check it out.
Dope. Were there any moments that you're like, I can't do this?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Well, probably the biggest thing that comes to mind was I was testing for my 3rd degree black belt, and I was testing at the very, very beginning of my freshman year. Like, to test for a black belt through the association that we test through, there's a 3-month-long candidacy process, you know? And the idea is that you train, you know, for 2 or 3 years, like however long from 2nd degree to 3rd degree or whatever, like for 2 or 3 years, and you get to the candidacy process, and the idea of that 3-month training period is it's not learning new curriculum, it's polishing the curriculum that you already know, so that way on the actual test day, you know, you're sharp and you're clean and you're good to go and all that stuff. Well, I came into my 3rd degree black belt test essentially knowing nothing, like, of the 3rd degree curriculum, you know, of the stuff that was required of me to test, you know. And that wasn't for lack of going to class, it wasn't for lack of, you know, lack of training or lack of trying or anything like that. It was more just kind of, I was focusing on other things, I guess you could say. Like, I was still super into martial arts, but I wasn't so much thinking about testing for my 3rd degree. I was thinking about the demonstration team at the school, which is, you know, the group of martial artists. They go around, they do performances, you know, for halftime show and what have you. I was really into that, so that my mind and kind of my heart was more there, like oriented towards competition and performance and stuff like that. And I was kind of thinking about teaching a little bit. I was still relatively young at that point in time. I kind of like had my eye, you know, like internship and like, you know, leadership team and stuff like that. So it was time for me to test my 3rd degree black belt. And, you know, you're not required to test. They don't force you into it or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But it came time, and, you know, Patrick was already a 3rd degree, and I was like, well, fuck, I'm gonna be a 3rd degree. You know, every candidate is assigned a mentor, you know, and that's one of the instructors, one of the staff members at the school. And their job is to, you know, give you private lessons and answer your questions and just kind of help and guide you along. Well, the mentor that I was assigned was a gentleman named Sean Murley, who at the time was the leader of the demo team, you know. So at that point in time, I'd already had a lot of history with him. You know, like we'd already had like a lot of interactions, just kind of a lot of experiences together. Well, he was assigned as my mentor, and I remember on the very, very, very first private lesson that we had, it was me and then his other 2 mentees, a gentleman named Anthony and a guy named Nicholas. Great guys. But the first private lesson, you know, he worked us out, he conditioned us, he did a whole bunch of training, you know, running and jumping and push-ups, you know, the physical aspect of it. And then after we were totally trashed physically, you know, he had us go into spots. He was like, all right, let me see this, and this, you know, whatever the curriculum was, you know. He's like, and Nicholas and Anthony were just like, yes, sir. Like, they knew what to do, you know, and I was just kind of like, yes, sir. You know, I think at the time I was just thinking, like, fake it till you make it, you know, but obviously Sean Murley being the martial artist that he was and the mentor that he was and how experienced of a leader he is, he was just like, oh, hell no, Jonathan, you don't know any of your shit. And he pretty much told me, he's like, Jonathan, he's like, you don't know anything. He's like, you have 3 weeks to get this together, otherwise I'm not testing you, you know? And that hit me hard, you know? That hit me like a freight train, because martial arts was my life, you know? And I was like, I need to be a 3rd degree black belt. So basically I had 3 weeks to learn all the curriculum that Nicholas and Anthony knew. They helped me a lot with it, and they taught me a lot, bless their hearts. I had 3 weeks to learn it and to show Sean that I knew it. Not necessarily that it was perfect, but that I knew it. I struggled, like, I went to class every single day, and I practiced at home and like outside of school and like in school during recess. Like, I just practiced as much as I possibly could. Well, the 3-week mark came by, you know, I didn't know everything. It was totally half-assed and it was terrible, but I knew all of it. And he told me, like, okay, he's like, we'll keep going, you know, like, you're still in. He's like, but you're on probation. He's like, if you fuck up, like, if you're not ready to test, I'm not going to test you.
What did you have to do? Like, was it choreographed? Were there just different exercises you had to prove? Or
for the 3rd degree black belt test, there were 12 forms that you need to know. Forms are kind of like a choreographed set of movements. We had to know boxing and kickboxing combinations. We had to know weapons, flow drills. You had to know every single kick, basically up to the point of 3rd degree. You had to be able to do it well and proficiently. You had to be able to do, you know, certain board breaks, and you had to do certain self-defense and 1-step drills like knife defenses, gun defenses, rope defenses, a whole bunch of stuff, you know, and it wasn't so much like set in stone curriculum based, like the forums obviously, but everything was more like you need to know what to do and when to do it, you know, and you need to realize that it's not going to be exactly how you practice it. You need to be kind of adaptive. And then of course there's a lot of physical requirements too, like you had to do 6,000 push-ups within that 3-month period. You had to do 6,000 sit-ups, 6,000 squats, you had to run 60 miles, and you had, you know, physical benchmarks, and you had to be able to sprint a certain distance at a certain time. Day of the test came, the test happened, it was a wonderful experience, it went very well, and I did pass. And the cool thing is, like, when you get your new belt, you know, your mentor ties it on you, except for like the last knot, because, you know, the grandmaster does your last knot for you. And as he was tying my belt, you know, he kind of looks at me, he goes like, Jonathan, he's like, you did it. He's like, you had the hardest test out of everyone in your testing class, which is like 50-something people. He's like, you had the hardest test out of everyone in your testing class, and you did it. He's like, I'm proud of you. And I was just like,
nice.
yeah! You know? So kind of to loop all that back around to your initial question, like, was there ever a point in time when you thought you couldn't do it? It was never a matter of I can do it, I can't do it. It was just a matter of like, should I? Is this the right time? You know, do I deserve it? You know?
Okay.
And that was just something I had to wrestle with for a long time.
Well, just to kind of close this up a little bit.
Yeah. I'm taking up enough of your screen time. I've been on your screen for long enough.
What do you have to tell people? What would you want to say to them that with dedication, what insight do you have to offer of your trials and tribulations through martial arts?
That's a good question. I've been talking a lot about other people, and, you know, a lot about myself and how other people have influenced and affected me, and how other people have been there for me, and that's definitely important. And we have in life, everyone's gonna have, you know, a lot of role models and a lot of people that influence them, whether it's a celebrity or a movie star, you know, a high school coach, or your parents or your siblings or whoever it is. While it's a good thing to have those role models and to, you know, let those people affect you and develop you, don't be afraid to still be you. You know, when those people help you, they're not helping you because they want to see a mini version of them. You know, they don't want to see another version of them in you. They want to see you be a better version of them, you know, in yourself. Something that Master Kyle told me when I first became a teacher was, a teacher doesn't teach to show how much better he is than his students. A teacher teaches because he wants his students to be better than him, you know? And so with our role models and stuff like that in life, you know, for me, Master Kyle and Sean Murley and Master Natsuki and my parents and all that stuff like that, I know that they genuinely want me to succeed. They want me to be a successful person, you know? And so with that said, when you're receiving help and stuff like that from role models and from other people in your life, it's good to be influenced by them, but don't be afraid to put your own spin. Don't be afraid to be you, because the great thing about being you is that you have the potential to be better than your role models, you know? Like, I love Bruce Lee, you know, and he's the greatest martial artist ever. And am I ever going to be as good as Bruce Lee? Probably not, but I have the potential to be better than Bruce Lee, you know, potentially, because I'm not Bruce Lee, I'm me. I have no idea how much sense that makes.
It doesn't have to sometimes, man.
This is totally unscripted, and I'm not good at that.
It's okay. We're winging it, and I think it came out really good. Jonathan,
Yeah, this is fun, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Why though? We learn at a young age that when every year rolls around, we're supposed to change and do something better that we've done the year previously. But today I want to ask you a little bit more of a challenging question. Why are you even here?